Hello, wandering neuron. Welcome home again. Wherever you are, lying still beneath a quiet ceiling, drifting between wake and dream, you are not alone. Somewhere out there, maybe right now, another you opens their eyes too. Maybe they breathe a little slower. Maybe they made a slightly different choice today, turned left instead of right, said yes instead of no. And because of that tiny choice, an entire world branched away. Imagine existence like an endless, shimmering tree. Every thought, every hesitation, every sigh creates a new leaf trembling under cosmic light. And on each leaf, another you lives, breathes, wonders. The idea is simple yet dizzying. For every possibility that could ever exist, there is a universe where it does. This is not only philosophy, it's a scientific whisper, born from the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics, a theory proposed by Hugh Everett in 1957. He suggested that every quantum event, every particle's decision between this and that, creates not just one outcome, but both, in separate, coexisting realities. To some, that sounds like madness. To others, it sounds like freedom. So tonight we travel, not through one reality, but through a field of infinite mirrors. Each one reflects another version of you, some brighter, some darker, all fascinating. Let's start with a thought experiment. In the smallest corner of existence, smaller than atoms, smaller than light, every particle behaves like a question waiting to be answered. Will the electron spin up or down? Will this photon pass through this slit or that one? Physics tells us both. At the quantum level, reality doesn't decide until it must. But Everett's idea said, maybe the universe never chooses just one path. Instead, it splits, allowing both to exist, in parallel. One universe where the photon went through slit A, another where it went through slit B. One world where you pressed play on this video, another where you didn't. The result? A cosmic ocean of endless versions, born from the ripples of chance. But here's the strange part. From your perspective, you'll never feel the split. You'll only ever experience the version of you that followed one of those lines. So if you ever wonder, what if I had done things differently? According to this theory, you did. You just can't see it from here. Physicists like Bryce DeWitt later expanded Everett's ideas, describing this endless branching as a multiverse, a vast structure containing all possible realities. But these aren't scattered bubbles of chaos. They're all governed by the same underlying mathematics, the same quantum rules humming beneath everything. It's like the cosmos is a symphony, and every universe is a different melody playing the same notes in new ways. You might ask, does this mean there's a version of me who made every possible choice? Yes, if the theory holds true. There might be a you who became a writer, a you who lives by the sea, a you who never met certain people, and a you who never lost them. Each one, still wondering, still dreaming, still reaching for meaning. Every version of you might be asleep right now too, listening to something just like this, thinking the same question. Maybe they're wondering about you. Let's slow down here. The idea of infinite versions of you can feel beautiful or terrifying. If there are infinite versions of you, does that make you less unique or infinitely precious? In philosophy, this becomes a mirror maze. Because the you who wonders about this right now exists in only this timeline, this perspective, this breath. Even if 1,000 other yous exist, none will ever have your exact moment of awareness, this heartbeat, this precise angle of thought. And that makes you, right now, irreplaceable.
There's a quiet paradox in all this. The more we imagine infinite versions of ourselves, the more we realize how singular our own consciousness feels. It's as if awareness itself is the one thing that cannot be copied. It's the lighthouse shining across infinite seas. Some neuroscientists think that consciousness arises from quantum processes in the brain, the so-called OR theory proposed by Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff. If that's true, then maybe every thought is a kind of quantum event, meaning that every decision you make could echo into infinite universes. But even if that's only poetic metaphor, it's still true that your mind contains multitudes. Close your eyes again. Picture all the lives you might have lived. Some happy, some sorrowful, some quiet, some extraordinary. Each of those lives flows through you like parallel rivers beneath the surface of thought. Maybe when you dream, you sometimes touch those other streams. Maybe déjà vu is a soft collision between realities, a memory from another you brushing past your own. You are both the dreamer and the dream. You are the observer and the infinite worlds observed. And tonight, we wander through that cosmic orchard to find what it means to be you in a universe of endless versions. Somewhere in the deep architecture of space-time, there might be a law that never rests. Every possibility must happen somewhere. When cosmologists try to describe the early universe, the first fractions of a second after the Big Bang, they find something strange. The equations don't describe one clean explosion that ends in one neat cosmos. They describe a frothing field of possibilities, expanding, bubbling, branching. This is called cosmic inflation, the rapid swelling of space itself. In that unimaginable moment, regions of space-time could have expanded faster than light, detaching from each other. Each region would become a separate bubble, a parallel universe, floating in an infinite cosmic foam. Inside each bubble, the physical laws might differ slightly. One universe might have weaker gravity. Another might have more stable atoms. Another might have never allowed stars to form at all. And one, this one, created you. That's the cosmological multiverse, born not from imagination, but from the mathematics of cosmic expansion. Inflation theory suggests it naturally. It's not even mystical. It's almost inevitable. If space expands infinitely, then whatever can happen must happen, again and again. So when we speak about another you, we might not only mean a quantum twin separated by a subatomic choice. We might mean another cosmic version of you, born in the universe where history unfolded differently, yet with patterns close enough to mirror this one. A second Earth, a second you, perhaps listening to the same story, beneath another sky. Physicists sometimes call the multiverse a fractal of existence, because the deeper you look, the more it repeats itself. Patterns inside patterns, choices inside choices, universes inside universes. At one level, it's quantum. At another, it's cosmic. And somewhere in between, it's human. When you make a decision, even the smallest one, you create an internal multiverse. One part of your mind imagines the life you could live if you said yes, and another part imagines the life if you said no. Both futures exist in your imagination, and your imagination, after all, is part of reality. So the idea of parallel universes isn't only physics. It's psychology. It's philosophy. It's the structure of conscious possibility. Maybe the human brain evolved to simulate alternate worlds, so we could choose wisely, adapt, survive. Every dream, every plan, every regret might be the echo of a universe that could have been. This is what Carl Jung hinted at when he spoke of the unconscious as an ocean of archetypes. Perhaps the archetypes aren't only symbols of the mind, but reflections from countless versions of reality whispering through us. We are the crossroads where universes intersect. Now imagine the universe itself as a kind of grand equation, not one that gives a single answer, but infinite solutions. If you change even a decimal, the outcome transforms completely. In one solution, dinosaurs never went extinct. In another, the Earth orbits 2 suns. In another, humanity never discovered fire. And in one small branch, here, the physics and coincidences aligned so that you are listening to these words right now. You could call that chance, or you could call it a cosmic alignment of infinite complexity, the only version of the universe where this particular story exists exactly this way. There's something deeply intimate about the idea of a parallel you. It's not only scientific curiosity, it's a reflection of how we sense the universe itself. You've felt it before, haven't you? That strange flicker when you recognize a moment as if you've lived it before. That déjà vu, that instant déjà pensé, the sense of thought repeated. Sometimes it feels like another version of you has already done this. And maybe they have. In quantum theory, all outcomes exist simultaneously in a superposition, like a chord containing every note. It's only when observed that one note becomes real. Observation collapses possibility into actuality. But who is the observer? That's the deepest mystery. If consciousness participates in observation, if your awareness helps choose which reality crystallizes, then you are not a passive witness of the universe. You are part of the mechanism that selects reality itself. And maybe that's why each you feels separate. Each consciousness is the center of its own universe. The multiverse may be infinite, but every single awareness stands at its core like a flame surrounded by galaxies.
In that sense, all the other versions of you, in parallel worlds, alternate timelines, or even in cosmic bubbles far beyond reach, might all share a single origin, the same field of consciousness expressing itself through infinite variations. You are not a fragment separated from infinity. You are the infinity that forgot itself for a moment, so it could experience being one person, in one universe, under one quiet sky. This is what makes the idea of parallel universes not just scientific speculation, but a meditation on existence. If infinite realities exist, then meaning does not come from the number of worlds, but how deeply you live in the one you inhabit. Every choice, every kindness, every moment of awareness ripples through countless others. In some universes, those ripples reach the same person you could have been and perhaps change them too. Maybe that's what we call intuition. Maybe that's why certain thoughts arrive like signals from far away. If we could look at reality from outside of it, what would we see? Perhaps an infinite weave, countless filaments of space and time twisting through one another like threads of light. Each filament a timeline, each knot a universe. In physics, some theorists imagine that beneath all particles and forces lies a hidden framework, superstrings, tiny vibrating loops whose different rhythms give rise to everything we know. When mathematicians explored the equations of string theory, something remarkable appeared. The math itself naturally predicted many possible solutions, each describing a universe with different properties, different dimensions, constants, and even numbers of fundamental forces. It was as if the mathematics itself refused to choose just one cosmos. It offered a catalog of infinities. This family of possible universes is called the string landscape. And within it, our universe might be one small valley, stable enough to allow stars, chemistry, life, thought. Beyond it lie uncountable other valleys vibrating in dimensions we cannot see. So the parallel universe may not be beside us like a mirror, but layered through dimensions curled so tightly that even light cannot find them. Our senses perceive one sheet of the cosmic fabric, while the rest shimmer just beyond reach, like colors outside the spectrum. Mathematics has always been the quiet language of the universe. But what if mathematics is not only description, but creation? Physicist Max Tegmark proposed the idea of a mathematical universe, that every consistent mathematical structure exists physically. According to him, there is no fundamental difference between the equation that describes a circle and the reality of a world that obeys that equation. Every possible consistent set of laws births its own universe. In that sense, numbers are not mere symbols, they are seeds. Each equation blooms into existence somewhere in the grand multiverse garden. Wherever the math allows consciousness to arise, awareness awakes and begins to wonder, why this universe? Why me? Under Tegmark's hypothesis, there truly would be another you, not by chance, but by necessity, because consciousness is a mathematical consequence of information capable of reflecting upon itself. You are one of those reflections, thinking about reflections. It's dizzying, but strangely comforting. If mathematics itself dreams, then we are its thoughts, temporary, luminous equations passing through time. The idea of infinite universes carries a question heavier than infinity itself. If every possible choice exists somewhere, did choices matter at all? If there is a universe where you turned left and one where you turned right, if there's a version of you who stayed and another who left, does freedom lose its meaning? Philosophy bends under that weight. Yet perhaps it is not meaning that disappears, but amplifies. Each decision is still a doorway. You walk through one, but others remain behind, rippling outward in realities you will never touch. Your awareness anchors only one thread. The rest become echoes, possibilities fulfilled elsewhere. Free will, then, may not be about changing the multiverse, but about which branch you experience. You are both the traveler and the path, and choice is the act of tuning yourself to one melody in the infinite symphony of being. From the perspective of physics, nothing is lost. Energy, information, probability, all conserved. But from the perspective of consciousness, the one universe you inhabit is the one that becomes real. The others hum quietly behind the veil, like ghost harmonies that make the song complete. Imagine for a moment, not with eyes closed, but with reason and curiosity, that another version of you could appear here, not a fantasy, not a twin from fiction, but a physical being from a parallel branch of reality. what would you recognize first? Their face identical, perhaps, but carrying a subtle difference, a memory you never had, a small scar from an accident that never happened here. The voice the same, yet colored by another life. You might both pause, caught in silent analysis. Who is the real one? Neither, perhaps. Both are authentic within their own equations. If two parallel lines of existence could intersect even briefly, they might exchange more than words, perhaps information, intuition, or emotion, a resonance across realities. Some physicists have speculated that under certain quantum conditions, universes might interfere with one another. Subtle interference patterns could leave faint imprints, small anomalies we might someday measure. No proof yet, but the mathematics doesn't forbid it. And maybe that explains the flicker of familiarity we sometimes feel, as if another version of us passed too close, casting a shadow of memory through the walls of time. To meet your other self, then, might not require technology or travel. It might happen in thought, when you contemplate who you could have been or who you still might become. That act of reflection is already a bridge between worlds. Every imagination is a miniature multiverse. Somewhere, another you is also asking these same questions. Their atoms may be arranged by different laws, their history written by different stars, but the pattern of curiosity is the same. That pattern, the impulse to wonder, is the signature of consciousness across universes. It may be the one constant that binds every reality together. Every scientific theory of parallel worlds eventually meets a quiet wall, the barrier that keeps one universe from touching another. Physicists call it decoherence, the process that separates quantum possibilities once they interact with a larger environment. When a particle entangles with countless others, its alternate states lose contact. Each outcome drifts into its own world, unable to exchange information again. It's not hostility that divides the universes, it's entropy, the natural thickening of information. Like drops of ink spreading through water, the more they diffuse, the less they can ever recombine. Our cosmos hums within its own layer of probability, sealed not by force, but by mathematics. This may explain why telescopes see no mirror galaxies, why no stray signal ever returns from another branch of time. The silence between universes is perfect, and within that silence we find mystery instead of proof. To the philosopher, that silence is sacred. It means that reality guards its secrets gently, not cruelly. It leaves space for wonder. When Einstein wrote of relativity, he dismantled the notion of a single flowing present. Every observer carries their own slice of time, tilted by motion and gravity. Stack all these slices together, and you get the block universe, past, present, and future, existing simultaneously, like pages already written. If space can hold many locations at once, perhaps time can hold many moments at once. And if moments coexist, then new branches of possibility may form not just across space, but across time itself. Some cosmologists imagine a temporal multiverse, where every quantum decision is a fork in the river of time. Each branch continues onward, complete and consistent, unaware of its siblings. In one, a civilization arises. In another, it never began. Both real, both forgotten by each other.
The equations of relativity allow this structure, yet our minds can experience only a narrow stream, what we call now. Maybe consciousness acts as the traveler that surfs the temporal delta, reading one line of an infinite script. And maybe the déjà vu that startles us occasionally is the faint echo of another timeline brushing ours, a subtle reminder that time itself is not a line, but a field of simultaneous possibilities. Look out into the night sky. The most distant galaxies we see are receding faster than light can reach us again. Beyond that lies the cosmic horizon, the boundary not of matter, but of knowledge. Whatever exists past it remains invisible, not because it's gone, but because its light will never arrive. That horizon is the same principle that separates universes, a limit set by information. Every conscious being carries an internal horizon as well, the point beyond which thought cannot see. Neuroscientists describe the brain as a prediction machine, forever simulating futures and collapsing them with new data. Its horizon is the boundary between what is imagined and what is known. Entropy pushes both horizons outward. The universe expands, memory fades, uncertainty grows. Yet within that unstoppable drift, awareness continues to observe, to measure, to assign meaning. So the act of observing becomes the act of defining existence itself. Each measurement pins down one version of reality, letting the rest drift into parallel stillness. Every perception is therefore creative. It births one definite universe from the mist of all possible ones. Psychology mirrors cosmology more than we admit. Inside the mind, countless possible selves coexist. The person you are, the one you were, the one you could become. Memory selects, imagination invents, but beneath them lies a quiet multiverse of identity. Neuroscientists describe the self as a narrative interface, the brain's attempt to organize competing neural simulations into a single story. But those alternate narratives never truly vanish. They persist as potentials, influencing emotion and dream. Jung called them shadows and archetypes, figures that represent unlived possibilities. Modern neuroscience might call them alternative neural attractors. Different language, same idea. Within you are parallel worlds of thought. When two possibilities of self meet, say when you feel conflict or nostalgia, you experience the same interference pattern that physicists find in waves. The mind oscillates between states, trying to choose, and in that oscillation, you glimpse your own internal multiverse. Perhaps the boundary between external universes and inner ones is not absolute. The cosmos may produce patterns, and the mind, being made of the same physics, recreates them in miniature. In that sense, you are the microcosm of the multiverse, a small thinking universe carrying infinite branches within. Every theory of infinite worlds eventually folds back toward a single question. If reality is without boundary, what anchors meaning? Physics answers with symmetry. Philosophy answers with awareness. Perhaps they are the same answer seen from different sides. In relativity, every observer carries their own frame of reference. There is no universal center, only countless local ones, each equally valid. And yet, from the inside, each feels absolute. So it is with consciousness. Every mind is the center of its own observable universe, a coordinate system built of memory and sensation. This does not make the self an illusion. It makes it a necessary axis around which reality becomes intelligible. Without an observer, the equations remain unfinished. Without the center, the stars have no pattern. So amid infinite worlds, awareness is what holds the structure together, not by force, but by interpretation. Meaning radiates outward from the conscious point like gravity from a mass, shaping the curvature of experience. You, therefore, are not lost in infinity. You are its reference frame. If there truly are uncountable universes, bubbles expanding beyond reach, timelines diverging at every quantum decision, then everything that can happen does happen somewhere. At first, that thought feels vast, almost unbearable. But listen closely to what it implies. The universe wastes nothing. Every variation of beauty, every instance of compassion, every thought of wonder exists somewhere in the totality. Nothing of value is erased. It only shifts domain. And yet, this realization returns us to simplicity, because in this branch, this moment, only one stream of experience is real to you. All the others fall silent. All the others watch from behind probability's curtain. That makes this single timeline, this heartbeat of awareness, not trivial, but sacred.
The immensity of the multiverse does not diminish meaning, it amplifies it. Out of infinite permutations, this exact arrangement of atoms, stars, and choices has never existed before and will never align in precisely this way again. The quiet truth is that significance is local. It lives where consciousness touches the world. Every gesture, every kindness, every curiosity is the way infinity briefly knows itself.
Imagine the cosmos from a great distance. Galaxies like glowing coral, threads of light connecting clusters across unthinkable gulfs. Each thread a timeline, each spark a universe, a grand web humming with possibility. Now move inward again, past the stars, past the molecules, into the architecture of a single mind. Neural filaments mirror the same cosmic lace, tiny galaxies of thought exchanging light. The pattern repeats. The universe dreams in fractals, and consciousness is its way of seeing itself from within. Perhaps somewhere another you finishes listening to this same reflection, their world tinted by a different sun. Perhaps they wonder whether you exist. Across the gulf of probability, your thoughts align for an instant. Two harmonics in the same cosmic chord. That resonance is all the connection that infinity allows, and all that it needs. So the story of parallel worlds ends not with collision, but with correspondence. Worlds never meet, yet they rhyme. Identities never merge, yet they echo. And the music of those echoes is what we call existence. The wandering neuron drifts onward, carrying this realization like a soft pulse of light through the dark fabric of possibility. That every version of you, every universe that ever was or will be, shares the same origin. A single, simple spark of awareness asking the oldest question, in every language of physics and philosophy alike. What am I? And the universe in all its infinite variations answers in silence, allowing you to find the meaning for yourself, here, in this one gentle branch of forever.